As of the time of making this video, Ninjago has over 200 episodes, rapidly approaching 300. It is a lot of Ninjago hours to actually comb through. But the thing is that people often rank episodes in accordance with each other, but usually just by season. I, for one, am guilty of that. I only ever really rank episodes based off of the season that they do come from. For example, I'll rank all of the fire chapter together or all of the ice chapter, and then I'll just go along accordingly. But the thing is that with this really large and diverse roster of episodes, I've wondered how they stack up together when you have them at random. So that is what I have done today. I have taken every single Ninjago episode as of Season 4 Part 1 and I have placed it into a spin wheel. And I'm going to spin 10 Ninjago episodes at random, show you the results and rank them just based on how much I personally enjoy them. I think this is a really interesting one and I haven't spun it yet and I definitely cannot wait to do so. So let me not waste any more of your time and let's rank every episode that I get at random. So I'm going to do the initial spin on camera, but I'm going to do the rest of them off camera because it's probably going to be a bit boring. But like I said, this is every single episode. If you look closer, you can see all the names. Every single episode, and I also shuffled them so they are in a random spot. But I'm wondering what episodes I'm gonna get. I made this spin wheel last night and I did a tester one and I ended up with the absolute worst. So let's hope I don't get that again. But for the first episode of all of them, let's have a look. What is the answer? Chaos Reigns. Okay, interesting. After that initial one, like I said, I proceeded to spin the wheel on each and every single episode, and I'm honestly surprised by the selection that I got. I've got a fairly interesting one because I was genuinely expecting a lot of really poor episodes to go through, but I genuinely got some interesting ones, like I said. So, the ones that I got in the end was Chaos Reigns, TikTok, The Explorers Club, Big Trouble Little Ninjago, Home, The Real Fall, Kingdom Come, Operation Land Ho, Never Trust a Human, and lastly, The Calm Before the Storm, which feels quite fitting considering that I selected all of these ones at random. Like I said, all of these are really good picks. Honestly, there's not any of these episodes that I would genuinely consider to be bad. So I'm actually kind of shocked. And like I said, there's a lot of heavy hitters in here as well. So this has definitely been an interesting one to actually rank. I'm going off of just mainly how much I enjoyed the episode. It's honestly not good to compare them based on quality of season, animation, anything like that. Because you have Home, which was one of the first episodes, compared to Chaos Reigns, which was season 3 of Dragon's Rising. So it's just not really fair in that regard. So this is just going to be my personal incarnation of what I think. And obviously, I want to know what you guys think of all these 10 episodes as well. But let me actually start with the ranking. Coming in at the 10th spot for me is going to be The Explorers Club. This is an episode that I don't inherently mind, but in comparison to the rest definitely does feel a bit below it. This one mainly just centers around the ninja trying to actually get into the Explorers Club in of itself to try and retrieve one of the scrolls of Forbidden Spinjitzu. We do get some odd scenes of the ninja trying to prevent the attack from Asphera in the monastery, but it's just not really all that much. I like seeing the ninja just trying to repair the mech. I do think that is pretty cool, but it's just not all that great. There are some moments that I do find fun, such as Zane using his cloaking technology, which was quite rare in the 11-minute era. We also get to see Sola weirdly, so that's a nice bit of foreshadowing. But then we actually get to see the ninja go through, see the mirror that shows them their greatest fears, and we get to see them eventually come across the scroll in of itself. I honestly think this was a really fun concept. I don't have any sort of issue with it whatsoever. It's just all the other ones just kind of do everything I would expect but better. So unfortunately, it's gonna have to go all the way down here. Sorry, The Explorers Club. Coming in at number 9 is going to be The Real Fall. Now this is a shame because I do love Master of the Mountain, but this is definitely one of the weaker episodes from that roster. It is basically just what it is. It's just Cole, Wu, and Vanya just falling. The occasional little mix-up like fighting a spider or something, but that is basically it. It's not really an eventful episode and not really important as well. So I do like it just for the gag, and that is why it's better than the Explorers Club for me, but that is kind of all it has going for it. It is a shame, like I said. I do think near enough any other Master of the Mountain episode would have been higher, but unfortunately, I did kind of draw the short straw with this one. But yeah, I do think the real fall has some sort of comedic value to it, and that is why I gave it to the number 9 slot. Coming in at the number 8 slot is going to be the episode Never Trust a Human. Now, this is coming from the Fire chapter, and for the most part it is just simply a flashback episode. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun little episode to actually watch through. Getting to see young Wu and young Garmadon interact is extremely fun, and getting context on Asphira is also amazing, and also just the Serpentine tribes in general. And getting to see them navigate, also the interactions with the first Spinjitzu master, it is definitely a very solid entry. Honestly, this episode has a lot more going for it than I initially realized. And of course, ending out with the Spinjitzu brothers doing Forbidden Spinjitzu was really cool. I loved the fight scene between them as well. So I definitely do think this is a really solid addition. I do wish, honestly, that I got to put it up higher, but all the other episodes, again, are just quite simply just a bit better. So it's a shame, but don't sleep on this episode. It's honestly a very good one. Taking the number 7 slot is going to be The Calm Before the Storm. I look like I'm just hating on the 11-minute era here, but honestly, I do like this episode as well. The ninja feel like they won, they feel like they succeeded, when in reality, Kalmar actually did reawaken Wojira, and we get to see the initial invasion of it. But the thing is that there's more to this episode than you realize. I like the scenes of Jay and Nia just in the arcade dancing together, I like the introduction of the commissioner for the episode, and I like Nia going back out there to try and prevent it, but ultimately it not succeeding. But like I said, in the end, getting to see the invasion actually take place is honestly quite devastating looking. Wojira just runs through the entirety of Ninjago City, and it's honestly kind of terrifying. But I like that, I think it's really cool. So honestly, I'm gonna give this one again a lot of props and say don't sleep on it. Also, there is an Aquino cameo in this episode, which is really cool. But yeah, it's a solid one. And obviously, it's the lead up to the finale, so it has to be good. But yeah, it's definitely up there. Taking the number 6 slot is going to be the episode Home, or Season 1, Episode 2 to be more specific. This might be one that people disagree with me on, but I just simply prefer the other episodes a little more. But this episode is still fantastic. Getting to see the ninja train, getting to see the opening of the ninja being suspicious on Zane's antics is really cool. We also get to see the mailman here, we get to see the treehouse Cole being hypnotized, and the fight that comes along with it. It's all really good. But then it doesn't even stop there. This is where we see the monastery burn down, and the snakes all fight between each other, and ending off with the introduction of the bounty. Honestly, this has been a fantastic episode, and it's a really good opener to Season 1 as well. And so I'm genuinely kind of sad that I have to put it this low, but the rest again just simply beat it out for me in just different ways. So I need to make sure my appreciation is clear of this one, because it is really good. But yeah, Home is going to be here. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Kingdom Come. This is a really good episode from Possession, and I absolutely love it. Just remember, I love all these episodes at this point in time, but we get to see the ninja go through the Cloud Kingdom. We get to see them take a look through what they need to get done. We get to see Moro find his way into the kingdom as well. Honestly, there was so much lore in this episode that I had to appreciate. This is where we learn more about the realms, we learn about the Realm Crystal, and we get to know about Fenwick not exactly being a good person. We get to see then a fight take place across the city, and the ninja surf down the mountain to try and get the Sword of Sanctuary back. Ending off with that amazing fight between Kai and Moro, honestly is just the topping on the cake for me. This episode from front to back is just an amazing time, and honestly, probably one of my personal favourites from the season itself. So it definitely, again, deserves a whole lot more credit than I'm giving it, but I really just like the other ones a little more. I'm so sorry, it's my list. Taking the number 4 slot, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, it is going to be Chaos Reigns. Now, this is the finale of Season 3 Part 2. Obviously, a very controversial season at that. But I honestly do appreciate this episode for what it is. We get some really cool fight scenes, and I really do appreciate that. Yes, I've had my multitude of complaints about the episode, but looking at it in a vacuum, it is a very enjoyable 20 minutes to me. Again, please bear in mind this is my opinion, and I'm expecting you to disagree with this one, but I just really like like this one. I just have a lot of fun with this episode. I like the fight between Thunderfang and the Archdragon because there is at least a little bit going on for it, and we never really see fights at this kind of scale. Of course, the ending of the fight is a whole nother thing though, but we get to see some really nice moments with Aaron and Lloyd, we get to see all of the ninja fighting respectively, the amazing fight between Jay and Zarkt. Honestly, this episode does have a little more than you would expect. I just really appreciate it for what it is. And even though I'm not taking it into consideration because of what I said at the beginning, I will say that I really like how this episode looks. It is a factor. But yeah, ending it off the season as well, I do think is a big aspect, and I do like the ending that we did get as well, so I do think that it did deserve a little credit. I'm sorry. But moving into the podium, we are now going to look at the third slot being Operation Land Ho. This is the penultimate episode for Skybound, and honestly, I do like it even though I do have my complaints about Skybound. I like seeing Jay round up his team. I like the interactions that we get to see. A lot of characters that you just wouldn't expect to see in the same room. That big chase scene around the city looks absolutely amazing, and it is a lot of fun. And watching them sneak through Ninjago itself, going into the sword as well, is just absolutely amazing, and I like the ending as well. Honestly, this is just a really fun penultimate. I think this episode is really entertaining front to back, and I just don't really have many problems with it. I think it's just an enjoyable experience. And I think the biggest thing as well is the beginning. I like the fact that Jay gets that amazing prep talk from his father. I think it's just really fitting, and honestly makes the episode for me in a lot of ways. So yeah, I'm giving this episode what it deserves, and that for me is the number 3. This brings us forth to the silver medal, and it's going to be going to Big Trouble Little Ninjago, the finale of Season 8. Rounding off a fantastic season at that as well. But this episode is just fantastic. The little difference in the intro, I really like to represent how dark things have gotten. I like to see Garmadon utilizing his powers, Lloyd also getting his powers taken away essentially, and the ninjas sacrifice. Watching them just go through the rainy city as well is amazing. Seeing Nia and Misako fight against Garmadon was really fun, and then of course the ending of the ninja being taken away to the first land. This is just an amazing episode, a lot of fun, and I genuinely had so much enjoyment every single time I watched through it. It is one of the best season finales we've ever seen within Ninjago, and I don't think that is much debate. But of course, this means it's the second episode, so there is one that I clearly think must be a little bit better. And that is of course going to be TikTok. This episode is honestly one of the best Ninjago has ever had. Season 1 episode 7 to be exact. We open up with the ninja believing they may have hit their true potential, but Wu realizing that there is still more to do. But he realizes that he needs to leave and find his brother. This means we get to see a depiction of when Garmadon got bitten. We get to see the first ninjutsu master. We get to see these flashbacks, which is amazing. It was honestly such an amazing thing to see. But we get to see then the ninja going through the Birchwood Forest and Zane having a particular connection throughout it, fighting off against the Juggernaut to eventually find his father's home, and in the end realizing that he's a ninjoid, he has memories of his life, and how he now knows who he truly is, and we finally get to see a true potential. We get to see him unlock what was there to become. And honestly, I just loved it. It was an amazing episode for all the ninja, but of course in particular Zane. But ending off with two things in particular. Pythor discovering the map to the Fangblade, and Garmadon's reveal. Honestly, cannot get enough of all of it. And of course, why can't I mention the infamous Zane stud head animation error? But yeah, I think with all of that considered, it's a no-brainer that it's the number 1 episode of this lot. Honestly, it would be the number 1 episode against most Ninjago episodes. But that is my list as to all of those 10 randomly selected Ninjago episodes ranked from worst to best, and I would love to know what you think of my ranking. I definitely know I have a bit of an unpopular list, but that is why I'm curious to know what you guys think. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but that is fine, and I would love to know your own 10 episodes of these ranked together, because I do think it's a fairly interesting concept, and if you want to see more of it, please let me know. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people. And if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you can always become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Each of you, your support means the absolute world to me, and I truly cannot thank you enough. But like I said, that's about it for today, and take care. Okay,